You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, reports of a fire consuming a garage in Carl Junction brings out first responders in the city.
Also, more and more fire stations in the 4 states, like the one in Neodesha, Kansas, are adjusting their schedules to help firefighters be able to spend more time at home.
And for the most part, we are looking at clear roads across the area as we finally start to see a warm up. We'll talk about how warm it's going to get coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Reports of heavy black smoke alert Jasper, Missouri Emergency 911. On Sunday, approximately 1:15 in the afternoon, Jasper Fire and Rescue, Mercy Ambulance, and Jasper County deputies responded to a fire near 4th and Morrison. Tri-Cities Fire, Carthage Fire, and Golden City Fire also responded. Authorities reported seeing heavy black smoke from the corner of the structure, the eaves, and the top of the attic, as well as from the front wall. No one was at home at the time and no firefighters were injured. Authorities say a pipe from a wood stove in the wall, not connected to the flue, caused the fire. Reports of a garage fire brings first responders to Carl Junction on Monday about 1:30 in the afternoon. Carl Junction Fire, Jasper County deputies, and Met's ambulance responded to reports of a garage fire just north of Carl Junction near County Road 290 and Ivy Road. A large 3-car detached garage with additional space located at a private residence consumed in flames. Temperatures in the teens with a wind chill of 0 made the situation even more difficult for fire crews. Authorities say the cause of the fire was unintentional. No residents or firefighters were injured in the fire. The new local Christian school is now enrolling in Joplin. Pleasantville Christian School is an elementary school that serves students from pre-K to 6th grade. The school will focus on all core content with biblical aspect, social and emotional health, and will integrate the 1776 curriculum that focuses on civics and American history.
There's a lot of changes happening in education right now, and there's not a lot of opportunities for families to have different choices for their student, to send their students. And so as we started this journey, the leadership team, we decided that now is the time to be able to provide that opportunity for our students and the community.
School is set to open in the fall of this year. More fire stations in the 4 states are moving from 24-hour shifts to a new and more effective schedule. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
The Neodesha Fire Department is making department history by changing the work schedules for firefighters for the first time since 1980. Firefighters will now work 48 hours and get 96 hours off per week.
It allows staff members to not only not have to pick up a full shift if somebody were to be sick or on vacation, but the employees can divide it between themselves.
The change in schedule is a solution to curb overtime and budgetary issues.
He would not only have to pick up the 24 hours working, but he would also have to pick up the 24 hours of call time. So a lot of time it wasn't very convenient, especially people with children at home.
With this new schedule, Neodesha Fire Department is able to have 4 personnel on shift rather than their usual 2. And firefighters are able to truly decompress after a stressful week.
Everybody's meshing very well, and we got our morning duties done in a fraction of the time because we had more people to help.
With 6 kids and a fiance, Firefighter Fur is thankful for the new schedule.
The time with your family, it gives you such a balance that you look forward to both. You look forward to coming in here because you had that time with your family. You feel fulfilled at home.
Even though this is a big adjustment for the department, they're proud to serve the community more effectively while enjoying a healthy home life. Reporting in Neodesha, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The Neodesha Fire Department's new schedule started last Monday.
Well, we've got a pretty chilly start for us today, but we're warmer than we were yesterday. MoDOT camera 32nd in range line. You can see the road is clear. Still some of that wintry stuff on the ground, but it'll start to clear out later today. 24 in Joplin right now. And across the area, again, it's a cold one for us to start. We're at 19 Iola Yates Center, 22 Pittsburgh, 27 Miami, 25 Neosho, and 24 in Carthage and Lamar. But despite that chilly start, we're still upwards of almost 10 degrees warmer now than what we were 24 hours ago. Neosho. And we'll continue to trend warmer today as we head for a high of 42, so almost on par for average. We'll have those skies clearing out. We're partly cloudy by noon and then mostly clear as we head into the afternoon and evening. But because it will be mostly clear, nothing to keep the heat in, we drop down to 19 for our low tonight, so a little bit colder tonight. We're up to 40 tomorrow, sunny skies, mostly cloudy, breezy Saturday and Sunday, 48 Saturday, 60 Sunday, 64 Monday, maybe an evening shower, and even after this cool down, still well above normal as we hold on to the mid-50s for Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right, well, coming up, I didn't even know we had this title, but the fastest chef in the 4 states steps into the Chef Anthony Test Kitchen to continue showing us how to make the best pizza pie in the 4 states.
And later, art is meant to be enjoyed by everyone. We're going to meet an artist who is breaking barriers by using Braille in his art. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. A brazen coyote lounges on top of a car in North Phoenix, a sight one photographer says should remind the public just how close to nature we are.
Fox's Lindy Aragas has more on that story.
A wild sighting in North Phoenix near the Lookout Mountain Preserve.
He seemed to be very comfortable in the situation, didn't seem to be bothered by anybody walking nearby.
Greg Kahn, a local photographer, took this video of a coyote on his neighbor's car.
Probably about a good 60 yards away, but I did have a large focal length lens on my camera, so it assisted me getting a lot closer images.
Around 4:30 p.m. on Monday, Kahn watched the coyote, who has been in his neighborhood more than once.
So it left, and then I went to another vehicle and jumped on that car and stayed there for a while. Then I did that a few houses down until we discontinued the follow.
Amy Burnett with Arizona Game and Fish says it's more common to see urban coyotes out this time of year because it's the beginning of breeding season.
We don't even really track them because at this point, coyotes are all over the valley. You may see an increase in coyote activity in your neighborhood, but coyotes have a very large home range.
Burnett says while they don't pose a threat to people should be aware if they have pets.
They're looking for your pets. A pet looks like food to them, and it looks like their natural food, which is a rabbit or jackrabbit.
Luckily, Kahn hasn't heard of any issues with this coyote wandering in his neighborhood.
It's a lot more than just a coyote on a car. I think it's also a reminder that nature is way more prevalent in our lives than we like to think.
I liked what you said as that Amazon truck drove by. He was just waiting for his Amazon delivery.
Yeah, that's all he
Once
wanted.
he gets his package, he'll move on.
Apparently that's a big deal to people in Arizona. Like on my way to work, on my block, I've waited for raccoons, I've waited for coyotes. You know, it's common.
Yeah, we're where we live, we're almost right in the heart of Joplin, and we have a ton of wild rabbits out there in our neighborhood. And it's just kind of crazy, you know, being that deep into the city, seeing so many wild rabbits just running around. Mm-hmm. Just having a grand old time, doing whatever. So, nature is a lot closer than you may think. Mm-hmm. Well, warmer weather is also a lot closer than you may think. Now, we still have this winter weather advisory for Delaware County, but again, most of this wintry stuff should stay well to our south as we are on course for a warm-up today. MoDOT camera, 32nd and range line, looking south down range line. You can see the roads are clear. Still some wintry stuff out there, but worry not. It's going to be going away before too much longer. 24 in Joplin right now. We've got those cloudy skies out there. I know that thing said clear. It's definitely not. It's cloudy, I promise. 19 Yates Center, Iola, 22 Pittsburgh, 27 Miami, 25 Neosho, and 24 in Carthage and Lamar. And even though it's another cold start for us, we're upwards of almost 10 degrees warmer now than we were 24 hours ago. And we will continue to warm up for a high of about 42 as we'll see partly cloudy to mostly clear skies later this afternoon. And that 42 puts us right about where we should be, but without clouds to hold in some of that warmth, we get a little colder tonight. We drop back down to 19 for our overnight low under mostly clear skies. So it is going to be a bit chilly, but as we've been saying, don't worry, the warm weather is really on the way, and it's going to be here before you know it. Up to 40 tomorrow, sunny skies. We're looking at mostly cloudy and breezy conditions this weekend, but this is where the warm weather really starts to kick in. 48 Saturday, 60 by Sunday, 64 by Monday, maybe an evening shower out there, and that system there is just enough to kick the temperatures down a few degrees, but still well above average Tuesday and Wednesday as we hit 56 each day. And we head into Thursday. It's our last above average day. We'll see a system come in with some rain, 55, and that knocks us down to normal for Friday at 42 with some showers, and then below normal by next Saturday, 31, and maybe a wintry mix. So winter is not done. We're just going to get a brief break from it over the next few days. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, and we are making pizza pie this morning with Chef Anthony. Now, earlier on the KOAM Morning News, we prepared the dough and kneaded it out and put it into the pan.
Yes, I got it into the pan. Now we're going to talk about the filling.
Yes.
So what I have is 1 pound of ground beef, 1 pound of ground lamb, and your favorite pizza toppings. So you can put just about anything that you want into it. Now don't overfill it with sauce. You kind of want it really thick and chunky so that it doesn't turn into soup inside of your...
Right, you need your pie to stand up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
where did you get the beef and the lamb?
I got the beef and the lamb from Simon Market. I got all these beautiful vegetables, and the colors really stood out during the cooking process for Martinez. They had a great selection this week, and I got inspired. So I let the kids kind of pick what they wanted to put into it, and they came up with all this.
Okay.
So we're going to start with we have our crust inside of our pan, and we're going to start with some mozzarella cheese into the bottom. You do. And then we're going to put our filling in.
I like the sound effects you gave with that. Doo-doo. So cheese on the bottom, okay.
A little bit of cheese on the bottom, and then fill it. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, you don't have to skimp on this one.
That looks very hearty.
Yes,
How much meat total filled this pan?
2 pounds.
2 pounds, but we're not going to use the whole thing.
No, I'm going to make another one of these at school.
Okay, so it makes enough for 2.
Oh, yes.
So a pound of each, so you need a half pound of each, okay.
And you can make as many of these as you need. You can do this in a 9x13 pan, anything that you have at home that you need. You can do this. You just need to make sure that you roll your dough out big enough for it. And I'm going to add just a little bit of cheese onto the top. It's going to kind of help keep the dough on. And here I've rolled out my dough, and we're going to lay it right on top. Just like so.
Beautiful.
And I'm going to give it a little stretch. I want to completely go over, and then I want to pat in, make sure I get a good connection.
No holes yet.
No holes yet, but I want to make sure I get a nice, good seal.
I have a pan that I just love working with. It's got like the scalloped edges on it.
Already got the scalloped edges on it?
So I make chicken pot pies in it, and I use my thumb and just push down all the edges. It makes a really pretty crust.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
This flan pan, of course, has those edges too. But if you push too hard, you're going to cut through. And that's your goal.
And we're going to make it attractive that same way. And this is kind of why I like the flan pan, because when I'm ready and I've sealed all my edges, it makes it look absolutely beautiful. And it's going to pull back away from the edges. So now you can kind of just watch your edges and make sure that you've sealed all the way around it.
It's pulled back a little bit there, you can tell.
And then this goes into the oven for 375 until the bread's done.
Do you need to cut any slits in it or anything? Just let it go?
Let it go, because the moisture inside is going to help the dough on the inside to cook, and it's going to turn out more like a pâte à choux, which is a steam cooked bread.
Okay.
Gives you a little bit more liveliness to it, and you'll have a nice hard crust on the outside of it. Now, depending upon how thick you roll the dough dictates how thick your bread's going to be on your crust when you pull it out of the oven.
Now, how long are we cooking this again?
It cooks anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay. Do we need to because a lot of times when you cook a pie, you've got to cover the edges?
Nope.
So that they don't burn?
This is not a flaky pie crust, so this is a true bread dough, so you don't have to worry about that. A lot of people, when they do use a pie crust, you have to cover the edges so that the pie crust doesn't cook before the center of the filling, but our filling's already cooked.
Okay.
So you don't need a vent. You don't need to worry about the outside of the edges, because actually all you're doing now is melting the cheese and cooking the bread.
Okay. So this is one prepared by you.
Yes.
We've got one in the oven right now that's about to pull out that your students prepared yesterday. So I'm excited to see what they put as, did they do a similar filling?
They made all this. I haven't even tasted this yet.
Oh, they made the filling. So
they made the filling.
That filling is what they made in that one, but they put it all together, so.
They completely ran with the idea of doing this. We're doing a few new things in club, and they're working to become officers for next year, so they have to plan out different events and show their ideas and their planning and multitasking skills. and their leadership abilities. So they're leading all the way through this, and I'm just kind of along for the ride right at this moment.
Okay, so when we come back after the break, we will dig into our pizza pie. Welcome back. It is time to dig into our pizza pie. I'm excited. Now this is one, like we said, the one that was fully prepared by your students.
Yes, this one's fully prepared by my students. They had a lot of fun doing this one, and I hope it comes out as good as they hoped it would.
How long did you end up cooking this one?
This one cooked for about 50 minutes.
50 minutes at 375?
At 375,
okay.
And it cooks all the way through. So I've already sliced it to pull out everything.
It raises quite a bit too. So, and I asked him during the break because we saw the crust on the other one, how it was sinking in and like pulling away from the edges. So it pops back out.
Look at that stretch on that cheese.
Did they put more cheese on it than you did?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Definitely appears that they put more cheese than I did.
Just wondering. I probably would too. I'm a cheese fan.
I do like cheese, but I like to do blends of cheeses. The Fiesta mix, where they got a little bit of taco seasoning in it. It's Colby Jack and mozzarella and some cheddar. I really like that one. Mozzarella straight all the way through. Cheddar inside of it works for me. So just about anything.
So this, just to recap, this one has lamb, it has beef, the vegetables in here. We've got peppers.
Several peppers. I believe it has green bell peppers, red bell peppers, yellow bell. It has some sweet peppers in it, and I think it's even got a couple of serranos in there.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, I got to get some bread with it too. Bread and a little meat, and it's
very much so. It almost texturally and looks appears to be a lot like a shepherd's pie.
Yeah.
So
without
we were talking without the mashed potatoes.
Yeah. Okay,
So
it's very cheesy.
Well, my students do love their cheese. So
I'm going to cut some of this cheese off, try to be appropriate putting it in my mouth here. Yeah. Okay. All right. What do you have your students working on next in class?
They're working on pasta right now.
Oh, awesome.
So we're going to do pasta, and then we're going to move into soup, and then they're going to learn the chicken and dumpling soup that we made last year. So we're going to keep on trucking right along the lines.
That's really good.
Isn't that great?
Wow, what a fun idea too. And it made a huge pie. I was worried that like when we were putting it together, I was like, it's not going to serve a lot of people, but when it raises up.
And it's just like any other pie, you cut it into however many slices that you want.
That's amazing.
And you make enough filling, you could do 2.
That's really good. You can find the ingredients and the recipe for the dough and how to make all of this on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Just click on the morning show link and you can find all of these segments together in one under Chef Anthony. Wow. Do you have any idea what we're going to work on next? Because you know what next week is? A special day.
No, Valentine's is the week after that.
Well, it would be, yeah, but what is next week?
It's not parent-teacher conferences.
You're being cheesy. Yes.
I am being cheesy.
Well, we are preparing for the Super Bowl.
Yes, we are.
We're also preparing for a big day next Thursday, February 9th. Do you remember it?
My mom's birthday is
Close
tomorrow. I need to make sure and call her.
My birthday, you know that.
I couldn't give in too easy.
No, I know.
But my students did have a question for you.
Okay.
How much did the chimney cost on your house?
I don't know.
It's on the house.
You do have jokes all morning long
Oh,
with
yes.
Chef Anthony. Wow. Okay. Well, this is really good. I'm looking forward to this, and you're just going to keep me a surprise for next week, I guess.
That's right. I'm not going to let you know because it is your birthday week. We have to keep it under wraps because
we'll be making a Tanya's birthday surprise with Chef Anthony next Thursday. Stay tuned for that for sure.
Yes, we will.
All right. We'll be right back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29. A multi-vehicle crash creates a dangerous situation for a Lawrence County deputy. Sunday night, Lawrence County deputies responded to a multi-vehicle crash along I-44 at mile marker 57 when a tractor trailer slammed into one of the patrol vehicles. The driver of the patrol car was out of the vehicle at the time, which had been positioned properly to protect the occupants of the already crashed vehicles. Deputy was assisting those involved in the wreck when he saw a semi in the same lane sliding towards him and the vehicle. The officer was able to jump over the center median cable to avoid being crushed by the semi and his own vehicle, where he suffered only minor injuries. Fire crews in Joplin had to battle a weekend blaze. It happened approximately 1 a.m. Saturday morning. Joplin Emergency 911 was alerted to reports of smoke and flames emerging from a structure at 2725 South Pennsylvania in Joplin. Joplin Fire Department, Joplin Police, and Met's ambulance all responded to the Garvin Park neighborhood, where they saw smoke and flames from the rear of the house. First responders fought the fire until about 3:30 in the morning. Well, a new Joplin Christian school is now enrolling for this fall. KOAM's Shagun Bombadeli has more.
Pleasantville Christian School is an elementary school that serves students from pre-K to 6th grade. The school will focus on all core content with a biblical aspect.
Areas we will also focus on social emotional health and social emotional learning, meaning we'll teach self-regulation and kindness and compassion and really all of those emotions that go with it. We'll focus on daily mindfulness work, and we're also going to be integrating the 1776 curriculum that focuses on civics and American history, starting with pre-K all the way up to 6th grade.
Quesada says school choice was a huge driver for starting the new school.
As my child and her friends grow, we are seeing that there is not a lot of school choice in this area. And so we decided to move forward with opening a school to support the students in our area and the kids in our area, and to allow more school choice in the Joplin community and surrounding areas.
One pre-K teacher says kids come first.
Just let them be kids, but also learn and grow each day, and teach them to be kind and loving to each other, and be good in the community, and to love Jesus, and just work with them any way I can to help them grow as humans.
Amanda New says she has a passion to see kids grow.
I'm going to be bringing my 2 children. I have a 3-year-old and a son that will be going into the 3rd grade next year, and so with that I get to see them grow, and I get to be with them, and I also get to be a part of something that helps other families, because I have the passion of my own children of this, that I think that that'll be great, because I want the best for them. I'm going to want the best for your children as well.
Reporting in Joplin, Shagun Bombadeli, KOAM News.
To find out more about Pleasantville, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, this morning we're discussing legal guns used in crimes.
Yeah, the ongoing surge in national gun violence now being met with the results of a new study revealing a shorter period of time between when a gun was bought and when law enforcement retrieved it from the scene of a crime.
Report from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, also referred to as the ATF. It reveals 54% of guns recovered at crime scenes back in 2021 were bought within 3 years of the shootings. Officials estimate the spike could be caused by illegal gun trafficking or the legal purchase of a gun, which is then illegally sold to someone who cannot own one.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. Should gun laws be tightened? So far, 70% of you say they should not be. 30% of you say they should be. So make sure you vote through our website, through our app, and take part in discussion on our Facebook page. All right. Something else to discuss, Punxsutawney Phil. Predicting.
He saw his shadow.
He's saying 6 more weeks of winter, but at least here in the 4 states, we're not going to have to deal with winter for at least the next several days at least, because we're going to start to warm up. Now, it is cold out there. MoDOT camera, 32nd in range light. You can see the roads are clear. Majority of main roads are clear, which is good news for us. 24 in Joplin. We're looking pretty good so far. It is a cold start out there, as we've been talking about, but we're looking better. We're at 18 Yates Center, 19 Iola Parsons, 25 in Miami, Neosho Carthage, and 23 in Lamar as we start our day. Even though it's a cold one, it still puts us about 10 degrees above where we were 24 hours ago. So not bad. Heading for a high of 42 degrees today, which is about on average for this time of year. And as you can see, once we get through this mostly cloudy morning, we'll start to see partly cloudy skies later this morning, turn to mostly clear skies later this afternoon and this evening. And as we head into tonight, though, without the clouds to keep the warmer weather in, it's going to get a little bit colder, down to 19 under mostly clear skies across the area. But again, we've still got warmer weather on the way. Now, we're a little cooler tomorrow, 40 degrees, plentiful sunshine, though. Mostly cloudy this weekend and breezy. But then look at this, 48 Saturday, up to 60 by Sunday. So this is a perfect weekend to get out with the kids, the family, or just simply get out of the house for a little bit. We're up to 64 Monday. Mostly cloudy, maybe an evening shower out there, and that brings us down to 56 by Tuesday and Wednesday, still well above normal, but a little bit cooler. And as we look further down the road, we're 55 on Thursday, maybe some rain chances as the system moves in, and as it does, it puts our temperatures back in check with this time of year. So we drop to 42 Friday, maybe some showers, and then down to 31 on Saturday, and maybe even a wintry mix. So remember, we're not done with winter yet, but at least for the next several days, we have a little taste of spring and an opportunity to thaw out across the area. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Well, someone threatened to shoot up 3 LGBTQ bars in St. Louis over the weekend. It's a threat the community is taking seriously in the wake of the Club Q mass shooting in Colorado last year. Travis Cummings has the story.
It hurts, but it's very invasive because this is our safe space. I've been here for over 10 years and this is my home away from home.
As Angela Basta serves her customers at Rehab on Manchester, she thinks about the hateful voicemails they got over the weekend.
They were basically just leaving messages saying that they were going to shoot up all the bars in the Grove around 3 a.m. and kill all of the gay humans in the bar.
Rehab, Just John just up the street, and Prism on the other end of the Grove all got similar calls late Saturday night from an unknown caller.
My stomach kind of went into knots.
Yeah. I consider our bar to be a safe place in our community, and it's unheartening when it becomes one that's not safe.
A bartender at Michael Klataski and Sean Abernathy's bar actually spoke to the caller. They say, joke or not, they don't take it lightly.
You know, in our day and age, where we've seen things happen in other areas, there cannot be a perception on our end if it's a joke. We take everything very seriously.
They do believe politics play a role.
Some politicians in this state that are bigoted towards my community and are trying to create laws with no data behind them that create a sense of more hate towards my community.
But won't let this stop them from creating a safe space.
We're still going to keep throwing our parties. We're still going to keep having fun. We're still going to keep welcoming everybody in because we are going to do our best to continue to make this a safe space for everybody.
Now, St. Louis police are investigating those threats. As we take a look at the MoDOT camera 32nd and Range line, you can see we've got clear roads out there. MoDOT, KDOT all reporting mostly clear roads across the area, but some back roads, especially down south, still a little hazardous, and that's why we do have some closings out there. And believe it or not, we still have a winter weather advisory for Delaware County through noon today, but the good news is the majority of this wintry stuff staying to our south. We're going to talk about a big warm-up on the way and what the rest of today looks like when the KOAM Morning News returns. As we mentioned, we still have that winter weather advisory for Delaware County, and that runs until noon today. However, the majority of this wintry stuff should stay well to our south, and we're starting to look a lot better up here, and will stay that way for the next several days. Got cloudy skies in Joplin on the MoDOT camera at 32nd and Range line, but otherwise you can see the roads are quite clear out there. Traffic moving along quite nicely. We are still cold. We're at 24 in Joplin right now, but believe it or not, that's still a good thing because we're warmer than where we were yesterday. We're at 18 Yates Center, 19 Iola, 20 in Fort Scott, Chanute, and Pittsburgh, 23 Miami, Chatopa, 25 Neosho, Carthage, and 20 up in Nevada. And again, despite this cold start, some of us are pushing upwards of almost 10 degrees warmer now than what we were 24 hours ago, which is quite nice. We're still going to continue to trend warmer, up to 42 to get today. These mostly cloudy skies this morning will start to break up. We'll have partly cloudy skies by noon, and be mostly clear by this afternoon and this evening across the area. However, with the loss of the clouds, that means it also allows us to get a lot colder tonight. So we're going to be a little chillier this evening, down to 19 for our overnight low, but we have the mostly clear skies, and that will actually continue into tomorrow as well as sunny skies. A little cooler though, high of 40. Then up to 48 Saturday, 60 on Sunday. Breezy, mostly cloudy, but still a great weekend to get out and relax. 64 by Monday, and then we have maybe an evening shower or two possible, and that drops us down a little bit, down into the mid-50s Tuesday and Wednesday, but still well above average, and we'll hold on to these well above average temps all the way through Thursday. Then we have a system coming in, brings us some rain Thursday, 55, and it kicks us back into winter mode as we drop to 42 Friday, maybe some showers, and then down to 31 by next Saturday, maybe even a wintry mix. So enjoy this nice weather while we've got it, because it will not stick around for very long. Let's check your forecast. Now here's Tanya Bach with Consumer Watch.
Thanks, Chris. ExxonMobil reports income of $14 billion in the last quarter. That's down a bit from the record $18.7 billion it earned during the third quarter, but up from the $8.8 billion in the fourth quarter of 2021. It adds up to $59 billion in earnings for 2022, which beats the previous yearly record of $45.2 billion for 2008. Now, energy companies are under scrutiny in Washington for using profits to repurchase shares instead of increasing production. ExxonMobil says its North American refineries are producing more than ever before, and the company's stock is trading at more than $115 per share. Now, those shares fell as low as $32 during the pandemic when global demand for oil plummeted. FedEx is laying off employees, but this staff cut will primarily impact those at the top of the shipping company. FedEx CEO Raj Subramaniam announced Wednesday that the company would cut more than 10% from its ranks of corporate officers and directors. The broad range of salaried and hourly staff will not be affected. Subramaniam says the cuts are necessary to ensure the delivery company remains competitive in a rapidly changing environment. In September, FedEx announced a series of broad cost cuts and staffing reductions in the face of slowing business and the rising risk of global recession. Cost cuts included reducing flights and temporarily parking aircraft, trimming staff hours, and closing 90 FedEx office locations, as well as 5 corporate offices. Well, next month, State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona will become the first Super Bowl venue with a sports betting center nearby. BetMGM opened a physical sportsbook location across the street from the stadium in September. It's the first sportsbook near an NFL stadium and will be the first near a Super Bowl for the February 12th game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. It's outside of the stadium but will be on the Super Bowl campus. The NFL announced partnerships with several sportsbook operators in 2021. We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Corporal Thomas Stuyvesant. Carthage, Missouri native, served in Korea from 1953 to 1955, and we thank you, Corporal Thomas Stuyvesant, recipient of the Good Conduct Medal and today's four-state hero.
Well, an artist who began losing his sight as a child has found a unique way to showcase his talent.
Across the pond in Britain, he's using Braille to break down barriers.
Ian Lee reports and has more.
Clark Reynolds knows his way around an art gallery, but this is the first time the blind artist is displaying his own work.
Dots for people with low vision.
His Power of Touch exhibit in London features a color-coded Braille system using raised dots that visitors touch to decode messages.
Being able to touch it is really nice because you're so used to going to galleries and it's like don't touch anything.
But it's not just for those with vision impairment, it's for everybody. Sighted, unsighted. Oh, I'm in red, yeah?
Reynolds was just 6 years old when he lost sight in his right eye, and over the years, he lost the rest.
When I learnt Braille 3 years ago, it was like, how can I make it accessible for everyone?
He's hoping to bring Braille into school curriculums and change perceptions of art while breaking down stereotypes about the visually impaired.
There's obviously many blind artists, in the world, but of course, how many of those are being able to be given a voice and to be recognised as a standalone artist?
For the viewer to step into my shoes, please look.
Reynolds encourages art lovers to try on special glasses to see what it's like to struggle with sight.
Identified by touch.
Proving in some cases, art is in the hand of the beholder. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Well, the 41-year-old artist says he one day hopes to be as famous as Picasso with his Braille creations.
I certainly think he could go that route. Those are certainly unique. And as that one lady said, it's unusual to go into a gallery and be encouraged to touch the art on display. You're usually discouraged from getting that close to it. So
yeah, for sure.
Certainly a unique display. And we have a unique situation here in the 4 states as we're going to start to warm up to just about spring-like temperatures. MoDOT camera at 32nd and range line looking back south down range line shows plenty of traffic, and underneath this traffic is clear roads and cloudy skies above. But the good news is these mostly cloudy skies will eventually start to break up later this morning and give way to some clear skies later today. We're at 24 in Joplin right now. Cold start for us, undoubtedly, but a little better than where we were yesterday. 18 in the 8th Center, 19 in Iola and Parsons, 23 Chetopa, Miami, and 25 Neosho and Carthage this morning. Even though it's cold, again, as we've been saying, it puts us almost 10 degrees above where we were this time yesterday. So that's certainly some good news, and those temperatures, save for tonight, which we'll get to, are going to continue to warm. We're up to 42 today, putting us on track for about average temperatures. Again, we'll start to see partly cloudy skies, and then that'll transition into mostly clear skies as we head through the afternoon and evening. However, check out the gap from 5 to 8, how quickly that temperature begins to drop, because without the clouds to act as a blanket, this warm weather escapes, and we get cold tonight. In fact, colder tonight than we are right now. 19 degrees for our overnight low, and we'll have mostly clear skies. But it's a sign of things to come, though, for today, because we're going to continue to warm. Sunny and 40 tomorrow. Let me get out of... I can't back. There we go. 40 and sunny tomorrow. Mostly cloudy Saturday and Sunday and breezy, but we're looking at this. 48 Saturday, 60 by Sunday, 64 on Monday. Maybe an evening shower out there, and that's enough to knock us down a little bit, but still well above average for Tuesday and Wednesday as we head into the mid-50s with some breezy conditions. We stay above average through Thursday, then we have a system comes in, brings us some rain, and then it also brings winter back to the 4 states as we drop to 42 Friday, maybe some showers, and 31 next Saturday, maybe a wintry mix. So get out there and enjoy the next several days before winter decides to come on back to the 4 states. We're back with more right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. More than half a dozen people are dead in Texas after several days of icy weather. The National Weather Service is asking Texans to avoid traveling for part of today due to freezing rain and slick roads. The storm knocked out power to hundreds of thousands of homes and canceled thousands of flights across the South. Many schools across Arkansas, parts of Texas, and Tennessee are canceled today. Well, during the funeral of Tyree Nichols, his family called on Congress to pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. Family's lawyer says Democrats will reintroduce the bill in February with a new element in honor of Nichols. The new addition requires police officers to intervene if a fellow officer is doing something illegal. It's unclear if the bill has enough Republican support to pass. And the eyes of the nation descend upon Gobbler's Mound in Puxatawny, Pennsylvania today. If Phil the Groundhog sees his shadow, the U.S. is looking at 6 more weeks of winter, and the weather prognosticator has been at it since 1887, but the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says he's been correct just 40% of the time over the past 10 years, and as we know, he did see his shadow this morning.
Maybe this is going to be one of those times, where he's not right.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. It's only 40%. We've got a better chance that he's wrong. But in case he's not, we're looking at 42 today, so a little bit warmer, mostly clear skies by this afternoon and this evening. But that lets us get a little colder tonight, down to 19 for the low. However, our winter takes a pause as we warm up. 48 Saturday, 60 on Sunday, 64 by Monday, maybe some evening showers. And then we get into the mid-50s as we head into the middle of next week. So at least a little pause from winter across the area.
think my favorite part of the ceremony before he saw his shadow was when we got to see Miss Pennsylvania perform.
I missed that part, unfortunately, but I did get to see some of it. I've never actually watched it until today.
And then they read this really like historic poem, you know, so.
There's so much ceremony and pomp and circumstance into this groundhog, it just kind of blows my mind.
Of course, we'll have more of that today at noon, of course.
We certainly will. But like I said, if he's only right 40% of the time, maybe he's wrong this time. We'll just have to wait and see. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We're going to be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.